And welcome to another Challenge to Ignite Change video in this series. Now, in this particular series, I have been teaching you a new tool every single month. That way you can incorporate this tool throughout the whole duration of the month and allow you to make it a habit, allow it to stick before moving on to a new tool. And then every month you incorporate a new tool, essentially still carrying on those other tools from the previous months. And now this month of June, what we want to start doing, since last month we are learning about, taking action on those things that you were curious about and incorporating the real true change that you are going to see in life. Now, even though you are taking action, you can burn out and you won't have motivation. And a lot of times what really helps here leads up to this new monthly challenge, which is visualization, and why this is so extremely important, because a lot of times there may be specific things in your life that you find that you are not capable of, or you think you're not capable of, because you don't have a reference point essentially to overcoming that challenge, or overcoming that problem or that habit that you just want to change. And to be able to do that, you can use a technique called visualization. And ultimately what you're doing is help rewiring your brain to believing that it can do it and to showing yourself that you can do it. Now, the best way to actually do this is to picture whatever the thing is that you are trying to make a change in. So you're taking actions to a bunch of different things that you want in your life. Maybe it's just overcoming something you are afraid of, like approaching someone or actually holding a conversation with somebody. What you can actually do in this visualization technique is picture yourself in a conversation with someone, making eye contact, smiling like we learned about in the way you're standing, and actually understanding that going and replaying this particular scene in your mind multiple different times, but instead of trying to visualize it as, perhaps in the past you would fail. Perhaps you stumbled or mumbled going into that conversation fell flat, and you couldn't really carry on a conversation. But this time when you start to, visualizing that particular conversation, you're having a good time, the other person's having a great time, you're having a great conversation, and you're continuing to flow with the conversation and not being so strenuous in that conversation. Now, this can happen for anything. It could happen for health as well. Perhaps you're trying to lose weight, right? You want to visualize yourself, what you would look like, what you would feel like in that particular moment. And that is what is important. When you're trying to do visualization, you want to not only visualize what you would look like, but how you would feel in that particular moment, who is with you in that particular moment. You want to be very detailed about that particular situation and that result that you're aiming for, because the biggest thing here to understand here is your mind does not know the difference between what is actually reality, something has actually occurred in your life, to what you're actually feeding it. So there is no difference to your mind. Yes, you may actually realize that, yes, I'm feeding my mind images and stuff that hasn't actually occurred, but the brain doesn't know any different. So when you're doing this, you are essentially prepping your brain for those particular situations. So if you go back to the conversation example, if you come into a new conversation, your brain's already like, okay, well, I have a focal point. I've had many conversations, right? Conversations, your visualization where things went well. The other person was enjoying themselves. I was enjoying myself. We were having a great conversation, and the conversation just continued to flow extremely nicely. And again, visualization can be used for anything. If you have a destination, which is something I talk about all the time, visualize your destination, right? What do you look like? What do you feel like? Who is with you, right? What is your surroundings? All those things, all those details matter, because you realize that when you're doing this, you have that focal point of where you're aiming for. So you're not just blindly trying to follow guidance on where you're going, because if you are trying to achieve anything in life, if you don't have that destination in mind, you are just going to go around in circles. And so the visualization technique helps you with that and trying to achieve those goals. Maybe it is just approaching someone and telling someone specific that you don't want to do something specifically. Maybe you don't want to be in a relationship anymore. Maybe you don't want that job job, maybe you want a promotion, right? Visualize these different things and how it's going to play out, because a lot of times we always go to the negative. And so this allows you to put a positive spin on things, that allows you to be in control of that situation before it happens. And then this helps with the nerves. It helps with all the other different scenarios that play around in your brain, because you essentially have a preset for this that allows you to move forward and realize that you are successful. You can be successful. And that's the image that you want to put into your brain. So remember to go out there, ignite the change in your life, and continue on with these different tool sets from the previous months. And we're almost halfway there to improve our lives and make that change that we want to stick. So go ignite that change.